What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Antro Mike back with the Antro Show for Entrepreneur. And in this video, we're going to be going over a spot market update for hot shots in 2025 using the truck stop load board. It'll just be me today. We don't have Nate on today. We're just going to be doing a weekly load search and rate insights for hot shot trucking. So I'm going to need your help today because I'm now making weekly videos on hot shot trucking using truck stop. I need help finding lanes that you want to search. So if you want to see lanes from Atlanta, Georgia to Chicago, or Chicago to Dallas, Dallas to Miami, I need you guys to comment down a rate insight search that you guys are interested in. Also drop down your city and state so you can be on next week's video for lane searches. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the video now with the lane searches that we got for last week. If you guys enjoy this content, please like the video. It helps me out more than you think, and it'll also help you get these videos in your algorithm more often. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. So there we go. We are now on the truck stop load board. This feels so weird not having Nate in the other corner. Shout out to Nate at truck stop. We're going to go ahead and start off with the first load search, which is going to be Atlanta, Georgia. This is for equipment type hot shot for the next couple of business days. We got for 40, up to a 40-foot hot shot, up to 10,000 pounds. And we're just going to go through some of the loads that's on here that's posted. We're not going to go through too many of the comments. But as far as the rates and rate per miles, we're going to go through that. And we're also going to go into rate insights for a few lanes so you guys can get an idea of the average rate per miles coming in and coming out of certain areas. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So the highest rate right now coming out of Atlanta, Georgia is coming from Beaufort, Georgia to Livermore, California. Second highest rate is $3,300 coming from Chattanooga to California. Let's look at the rate per mile right here. $1.50 for that and $1.39 going from Chattanooga to Tracy. Let's do this though. I am super curious if, let's see what the highest rate per miles are coming out of Atlanta. Atlanta, highest rate per mile is coming at $4.67 a mile from Cedartown, Georgia to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And we got $250, but it's only $250. So not a lot of rate, but a high rate per mile. This one looks decent right here. From Conley, Georgia to Garner, North Carolina. So $11.50 for that, $270. And guys, I know it's not a ton of content of me making truck stop load board videos. I'm making them so you can get more familiar with them. So if you guys are kind of confused on how to use it, I will be making a very in-depth tutorial on how to use it, steps A through Z. And you also get 20% off of Truck Stop Pro in the description. So don't be overwhelmed if this does seem like a lot of information. We'll break it down, make it simple, make it more make you more used to seeing this platform. Okay. But to get back into the search, I think we were around here for the highest RPMs. $265 a mile to go from Acworth to Columbia, South Carolina. Not too bad. And you can also see the amount of views that they're getting. So people who have clicked on this load to view it. I also like the tags for tarp, right? You can see how many of these loads you got a tarp. You can see which ones require tracking. This is amazing, So let's go ahead and go over to Columbus, Ohio. That is our next search. Now we got Columbus, Ohio. Let's go ahead and go to the highest rate, which is $2,400 to go. So about $1.70 to go from Carlisle, Ohio, I'm guessing, to Carlsbad, New Mexico. 1,400 miles for $2,400. Then we got Springfield, Ohio to Chandler, Arizona. Only $1.30 RPM. $2,200 to go from South Vienna, Ohio to Gillette, Wyoming. $1.62. You do not want to be out there in Wyoming. And if you can notice, the load views are pretty low for these, right? So not a lot of people looking at these, but I'm guessing if we were to do this a little earlier in the day, it will probably be a lot of highs, right? But just overall, not a lot of volume. Let's go ahead and go to the highest rate per mile. Highest rate per mile. You can always tell with the highest rate per mile, they got the highest amount of load views. 377 a mile to go from Kentucky to Lima, Ohio. It's only $500 though. I know this has a lot of views. Going from Kentucky to Detroit, Michigan. How many miles we got? 275 for $900. Not bad of a load. Pretty sure that probably got booked, but it's saying last updated a minute and 45 ago. So maybe not a lot of people looking into that. So I'm just gonna scroll through so you guys can get an idea of the rate per miles that are posted now. And you got partials here at the bottom. And we're gonna go ahead and head over to Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas, for the highest rate coming out of Dallas, Texas, we got a load coming from Piano, Texas to Redmond, Washington, 2,100 miles for $33.75. So only $1.59. Then we got Tyler, Texas to Tacoma, Washington, 2,200 miles for $3,000. So only $1.34. Good bit of loads on here though. 140 loads here. That is pretty decent. You can see the loads are updating in real time. So this is a live load board. Let's go ahead and go to the highest rate per mile. We got 314 a mile to go from Irving, Texas to I guess Alameda, Texas. 40 feet, 9,500 pounds. Last updated 11 seconds ago. So you see there are tracking loads on here, a few tarp loads. You can also see the low views always for the highest rate per mile are high. So some guys are probably keeping their search results on the highest in order to maximize the highest rate per miles. So let's go ahead and go over to Chicago. This will be the last load search for today. I need you guys to drop down your city and state. So your load search is on the top and we can go over your results next time. But for right now, let's go to the highest. Let's keep it on RPM. It's $4.32 a mile, but it's only $200, so it's not really going anywhere. Chicago to Joylet, little short hop. So if it's only 46 miles, you drop that off in a hour and a half. Go pick up you another load, but you got a couple $100 for for the fuel for the day. Then you got 312, but another short hop, only 96 miles. Yeah, so it's not really long at all. Let's do this. Yep. Let's see one with a little bit of distance on there. 400 miles, 273 a mile to go from Wisconsin to, not going to look at that one. Let's look at this one. 258 a mile to go from Joylet, Illinois to Cleveland, Ohio. This is something for sure that I will be booking. And it's funny because you can see the low views is pretty high, right? That is something that I will be clicking on for sure, trying to shoot my shot on and get more information on. And the highest rates coming out of Chicago, Illinois, $1,600 to go to North Dakota, or $1,600 to go to Dallas, Texas, $1.77 to $13. So rate per miles in the Midwest are looking pretty decent. And that is it for the load searches for now. All right, guys, now we're going to be going into the Rate Insight tool where Truckstop uses in real time machine learning AI in order to predict loads, rate per miles in the future, and also rate per miles in the current time, and give you a pretty accurate score on how much you should be charging for a load going from a certain origin and a certain destination. So let's hop into it. All right, now I just want to give you guys three ideas, I guess, of how the Rate Insight tool works. So we got a lane of Atlanta, Georgia to Miami, Florida. And I wanted to ask it, what's the average, booked estimate that people have been getting from the lane of Atlanta, Georgia to Miami, Florida with a flatbed hotshot that's at least 40 feet long and around 10,000 pounds. And the rate is $17.81. So what you can do is you could edit this, right? So let's say you wanted to edit it for a 30-foot hotshot that could only haul, let's say, 8,000 pounds. You could update it. So instead of 267, you're looking at something like 249 as far as your rate per mile. And we're gonna live in we're gonna live on this tool for now on. We're gonna do a lot of lane insights because a lot of you guys probably want to know what's lows looking like coming from Miami to Atlanta, Georgia. Average rate per mile right now for a flatbed hot shot, that's 40 feet, 10,000 pounds. It's around, the confidence level is only at 8, right? But the estimate rate per mile is $1.96, so $1,200. But you can really mess around with it. And then for the last one, we got Chicago, Illinois to Atlanta, Georgia. And it's actually showing a smaller rate per mile than if you were to go to from Atlanta to Miami, Florida, right? It's gonna be a higher rate per mile because you're not probably gonna get any backhauls out of there, right? Because although this is a decent rate per mile to get out, load availability is pretty, low. Yeah, but for Chicago, Illinois to Atlanta, Georgia, overall it is a smaller rate per mile because they know you'll probably be able to get something out of it. But yeah, this is probably all I'll do for now. I don't want to make this video too long because this is the first time we've introduced you guys being able to share a lane, and I'm able to give you real insights on what that load is predicted to do, let's say next week or next month, and what that load will do today, what the as far as like real time, what loads are being booked at that rate. And I'm really excited for it, guys. So if you guys are excited too, like I said, make sure make sure you like the video, drop a comment down. We're gonna make a ton of these videos coming up in the future. So stay excited, stay tuned for more. I'll see you guys next time.